Wow. Thank you, Patrice. Next up is our Achiever of the Year Award, and this is given to an individual who has overcome major challenges and has shown great dedication to their job at Goodwill. This year's winner is Jewel Smith, the receptionist in the Milgard Work Opportunities Center, and we'd like to invite you now to watch Jewel's story.
For Jewel Smith, coming to work every day is an opportunity to serve others. However, her life has seen its share of challenges. After losing a child, battling with depression and financial ruin, she was once homeless and hopeless.
I lost my car, I lost my apartment, and I lost my job, all within a year. That kind of put me down in a pretty dark hole.
Homeless, she bounced from family, friends, and shelters. Hopeless until she decided to make a permanent change.
She was looking for some help. She came to our Navigator meet and greet and learned about all the different programs that Goodwill has, and ended up enrolling in the CSEP program, which is a program for people who are 55 and older. And she also almost immediately went into our financial education program.
And once they decide that they want that change, which she demonstrated, Goodwill is in a situation to open the doors and provide that training that she needs to change her life.
She found confidence, training, and a new direction at Goodwill. Upon completing the financial literacy program, she immediately saw an opportunity to help others.
When I was taking the class, I was thinking to myself, I can do this, I can teach this class. So I found out the most important thing for me was helping other people. That's how you stay happy, that's how you stay healthy, and that's how you give back. I never lost faith in my capabilities. I lost faith in people seeing my potential.
With renewed hope and confidence, Jewel applied for and was hired as administrative assistant at Goodwill's front desk.
When I look at somebody like Jewel, it reinforces the purpose of Goodwill. Goodwill knows jobs change lives, and Goodwill is prepared to give people a second chance.
Today, Jewel offers encouragement to each person who comes through the doors of Goodwill. She sees her old self in others and knows that lives can be changed.
I watch the people come into the Goodwill. Some of them are broken. Some of them are desperate. Some of them are angry. And this is the first person they see. I made it. You can make it. Just a little at a time.
We congratulate Jewel Smith as Goodwill's Achiever of the Year.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jewel Smith.
I forgot about pictures. God is good. I forgot about the pictures. I'm not much on pictures. I want to thank everybody here. Good morning. That's what most of you hear from me every morning. I want you to get your dose. I want to thank Dina Eason, who nominated me for this award. Dina also let me teach her financial education class. And when I taught that class, my supervisor at the time in the JSR, James Watts, he asked me about NYP. I said, I didn't know. Can I? He said, yes. So I taught that class also. I have fun. And I have fun teaching financial education. It's good to give people good information, and it's very good to reinforce it in me, so I can keep going and do better. I want to thank everybody from the beginning, from when I started coming into the Goodwill, because I'm from Sacramento, California. After Sacramento, after my son died, I went to Arizona for 12 years. Don't ask me, I can't tell you. But when I left there, a good friend asked me to come to Washington because I was living in a shelter in Sacramento. And she said, I'd do better here. She just knew I would do better here. This is the first state that gave me a job after 6 years. So I want to thank Joanne Bolton. I don't think she's here, but she's the first woman who told me about the Goodwill and the CSEP program. We were living in a transitional home. And I walked into the Goodwill wanting a job like everybody else that comes in there. James Watts and Deanna Perry gave me an interview, my first interview in about 10 years. At the end of that interview, because it was the resource room, that's where people come to look for work, I had in 2001 went back to school, got a BS in information technology. Computer room was perfect for me. I had fun in there too. I like to have fun, especially giving good information and learning from people. Because I am in a position now as a receptionist. I see people, like I said, come in broken, angry. The ones that are angry, I give a little bit more attention to, because I was angry at one time. When I lost my son's life, severe cerebral palsy because of the morning sickness pill back in the late 70s. I don't know if you remember, but I was very angry. Angry don't get you anywhere. Being positive gets you everything. And once I learned to be positive, all I have to do is change the way I think, and I change the way I look at things. And things started happening for me. So I want to thank Joanne for telling me about Goodwill and CSEP, James and Deanna, Kim Hogue, who helps me with the financial education classes, and Don Gray, my supervisor now, Sarah Oliver, and everybody that walks into the Goodwill. I want to thank you because it reminds me where I was, where I'm not going back, and how I can help someone else, because I have taken baby steps, and I tell them if they're angry because you've been out of work for 6 months, try 6 years, and then talk to me. I'll help you back on your way. Thanks, everyone, and thanks for this award. My mother's going to appreciate this, and my mother thanks you, I'm sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Jewel. Finally, we have our Graduate of the Year Award, and this goes to a truly inspirational young woman who completed a Goodwill job training program and is now successfully employed in the business community. This year's winner is Mercedes Hall, a graduate of the Warehouse and Logistics program. And once again, we invite you to please watch her video.
As a young child, Mercedes Hall was forced to witness and later experience things unspeakable.
I was born into a drug-infested house, drug-infested neighborhood. Getting into drugs at 13, losing my virginity at 14, getting on the streets at 15, moving out. It was like ongoing, non-stop train, like just extremely fast.
She had grown up too fast and felt like nothing good would ever happen to her.
By the time that she was a young adult and came to Goodwill, she'd faced many different things that would have derailed most people.
And I didn't hate myself, I just hated my life.
A single mother, she wanted something better for her son. When a stranger had encouraged her to be proactive in her life and told her about classes at Goodwill.
Whatever I do, you know, I'm a single parent, he looks at me for everything. And I just looked at him, I said, I have to make a difference for me, for him.
She went to Goodwill and found training, resources, and a job with Fastenal after graduating from the warehouse training program.
I was really impressed at that interview. She had a much better resume than many we see in here. Already knew some background on what she might be doing in a warehouse, so I was very impressed with her and I brought her on right away.
For her to be successful, employed, and really have a positive future makes one feel really proud and somewhat humble because she's done more in her life than many of us will ever have to face.
What inspires me about Mercedes is the fact that you can take a child that never had an opportunity, that was drug into the worst possible circumstances, and watch that person bloom and turn into a productive, joyful person.
What I learned the most about myself through this experience is that people make mistakes. And so instead of just dwelling on that and letting my heart be cold, I can say, well, that did happen, it's a part of me, but I can move forward and I can make great things happen and I can move on with my life. Now I could sigh relief and live.
We congratulate Mercedes Hall as Goodwill's Graduate of the Year.
Gentlemen, please welcome Mercedes Hall.
My own video almost made me teary-eyed. I just want to first and foremost thank everybody that's part of the Goodwill and all the sponsors and everyone that makes this possible, because it literally changed my life and is changing many people's lives every day. Before coming into the program, I was, I guess, broken. I didn't know myself too well. I was doing a lot of horrible things. I was conditioned from very young to do all the bad things I was doing. And so coming into the Goodwill, I didn't have any expectations. I didn't know what to look forward to. I just kind of went in there. Some guy was like, oh, you should be proactive with your life. I was like, oh, I'll go check it out, whatever. And so I did, and I'm glad I did, because not only did I learn job skills that I didn't have before, but I learned a lot about myself through the different courses, and I got a lot of self-esteem, and a lot of things that were inside of me already were able to come out, and I took control of my life through this short course, which is strange, but it really changed my life forever. And now I know I don't have to go backwards ever. And that's usually what I do. I go to school, I give up, I go backwards. And now that I accomplished this, I feel like maybe I can accomplish more. I want to push further and see what else I can do in life. And Goodwill gave me that encouragement. And when I went to my interview, I amazed myself and I amazed my employer. I knew everything they were going to ask me with the 25 interview questions that we go through. I was prepared and I was on time. I had my 1-minute commercial ready. I wowed them. I wowed myself afterwards. I was like, oh, this is cool. I didn't know I had that in me. And thank you, Goodwill, for putting that in me and installing all this information that I use daily. And the job was so impressed that I started a little bit more than what the regular people would start at. And so I got that. I'm looking towards leadership in my job. One more step. One person needs to get promoted or demoted or something, and I'm the next one in line. Upper management loves me. I don't know why, but I love them too. So and I have to just really honestly just thank Goodwill and Garuba and Nancy. Oh, there was a time I wanted to quit, and they wouldn't let me quit. I was like, oh, I don't know. Well, what do you need? Get in here. Come to class. How can we get here? What do you need? Do you need help? And they made sure that there is no excuse whatsoever. Like, I showed up to class every day. There wasn't any other way about it, and I'm glad you pushed me. You pushed me to get here today. So, if I have any message for anybody out there, it'd be never give up. Reach for the stars, you might touch the moon. And thank you for having me.
Wow. That was inspiring, wasn't it? All three of our award winners. Another big round of applause for all three of them, if you will. Wow. Well, as Terry mentioned, Goodwill never wants to turn away anyone who needs help. And the only way that that can happen is through the generosity of people in our community, people like you. Our word today is opportunity. You know, 2 years ago, Goodwill established what we call the Dream Maker Society. And Dreammakers provides scholarships to individuals who otherwise would not have access to the training and the educational services that Goodwill offers. Today, after just 2 years, we have 153 Dreammakers, individuals and organizations who have pledged $1,000 or $1,500 or even more to help people who want to go to work. And in the audience here today, we have 93 of those Dreammakers in attendance. Give them a round of applause, if you will. If you're a Dreammaker, as a matter of fact, please stand up and be recognized. If you're a Dreammaker, I'd like everyone to stand up who is a Dreammaker. This is my version of asking you to put your hand in the air this time, okay? When you get to stand up and be a part of the Dreammakers. Now, what I would like to do is introduce a young man who is the recipient of a Dreammaker scholarship. We're going to show you exactly what your Dreammaker scholarship contribution is going to do. Will Bledsoe is a graduate of Goodwill's Retail Skills Program. And without that scholarship, Will would not have been able to get the training that he needed to get a job. I hope that Will's story is going to inspire you to consider becoming a Dreammaker today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Will Bledsoe.
I am Will Bledsoe. I moved to Tacoma and needed a job. I was shopping at the store on 38th and inquired about the programs. A volunteer named Fran gave me a brochure. It took a while, but I finally called. At Goodwill, I took the retail training program. There are 3 levels to the training. In the 3rd tier, I got work experience at the Gig Harbor store. One day last year, Goodwill gave me the opportunity to tell my personal story to people from Fred Meyer who were visiting Goodwill. 3 days later, Fred Meyer called me, and I was hired as a deli attendant. So now I work for both Fred Meyer and I'm still at Gig Harbor Goodwill part-time. People like me need an opportunity. Your gift today to the Goodwill Scholarship Fund will give someone the chance to gain job training and go to work. I hope you will do that. Thank you for caring.
Thank you, Will. This is the powerful reason that we are come together and share this morning. Now, as you know, monetary donations help thousands of people with disabilities and disadvantages become ready to work every year. So here are the basics for making your donation or your contribution this morning. On each table, you will find a large blue plastic envelope. It says right here in the script, Jeff, hold up the envelope. What I'd like to do is ask all of the table leaders now to please open that envelope and pass out the smaller donation envelopes that are inside. We've also got pens in the envelope as well. You're going to see on the envelope that there's a flap, that there are many, many different ways you can support the opportunities for people who want to work. Also in your program as well, it shows you what kind of things that your contribution, your donation is going to do. Now, just as they did last year, this is pretty cool. Every new donor, that is new donor, of $50 or more today, Fred Meyer is going to give a gift card to a Goodwill program participant. So what we would like to do is make sure that as many participants as possible receive that Fred Meyer gift card. If you would like to put someone to work and provide a full scholarship for that individual, that's about $1,500. You will become a Dreammaker. If you can pledge $1,500 or $1,000 for a partial scholarship, you will become a Dreammaker. It's about opportunity. That's all we're asking is opportunity. Many people find it easy to put your pledge on a Visa card. You can make monthly payments, so a Dreammaker pledge works out to about $83.33 per month. And that assures that someone with disabilities or disadvantages can sharpen his or her skills at Tacoma Goodwill and then find employment. But whatever you can give will be so appreciated by all the people who need help in our community. So we say thank you. And once you complete your check, your credit card information, or complete the pledge on that donation envelope, just go ahead and seal that envelope, then pass it on back to your table leader. We'll put that right back into that large blue envelope. And if you will leave those on the table, our staff will collect those at the end of the breakfast. And again, thank you.